So today we're going to be looking at how we used our audience feedback to kind of help with our project. So we'll be looking at a couple of areas and evaluating how we took that into consideration. So to start with, how did we try and appeal to our audience?
So, the age of our protagonist is our age, so 17, 18 years old. Um, Obviously, our audience is going to be appealing to this character as they see a similar,
Someone of their similar, like, who they can relate to.
someone that they can relate to.
We also, through our subject matter, wanted to appeal to our audience, who again is kind of like, what would you say, 17 to 25-year-old.
Yeah,
And the subject matter of moving away from home, especially for the first time, or to go on to university and to leave friends behind, is definitely something quite topical for a lot of us now.
yeah.
A lot of people in our kind of year group, year 13, are going through that at the moment.
And even the older generations and people that are outside our initial target audience, they would have gone through this experience.
Mm.
So it does, expand into a wider audience with the subject matter.
Definitely. So throughout our research, planning, and construction phases, how did we use our audience feedback to aid us in our decision making? So to do this, in our research phase, throughout our research tasks, we were able to use audience feedback, especially during our pitch meeting, to kind of get more direction in terms of what we wanted to kind of pursue. So when we pitched our idea, we kind of at the end asked any questions and said, "Does anyone have any questions? Is there any advice that they could give us?" And we got a lot of good ideas back from that.
Yeah, not just from our fellow students, but from our teachers, and we had a guest who was
So we had a guest who was a professional who could also kind of help us give
yeah,
us more direction in a more professional sense.
and she gave us some really good ideas about how to tell a story without dialogue,
Hmm.
because we offered this as one of our options for our film during this pitch.
As well as that, we also went onto Google Forms and sent out a few questionnaires to our peers
Yeah,
just to kind of ask what kind of things they would be interested in seeing in a film, and to ask more questions to gain more knowledge about our target audience, so we could kind of almost
like
gear the film
features. Yeah,
gear the film towards them and make it more appealing
yeah.
to our audience.
We knew the type of plot that we'd like to go for, but we wanted to make it even more specialized.
Yeah, like streamlined.
Yeah,
Yeah. In terms of our planning stage, we were lucky enough to speak to experienced filmmakers, both kind of alumni from our school and also outside of school contacts that we knew, to get advice on how to plan. So the planning stage, as we know, is really important to making a film.
hmm,
You can't really have a good construction of a film if the planning isn't there. So in terms of things like going for a recce, or how to script write, or how to like make a budget or a call sheet, we were really lucky to get help how to make those.
yeah.
Um,
We also spoke to not only experienced filmmakers but drama teachers and um, technical experts into different areas,
yeah,
because although film is so
specific. There are still a load of skills and kind of ideas that can be brought into the process.
yeah, and we
Yeah.
learned a lot from that as well.
Mhm.
So within the construction phase, we were able to show our film to family and friends and speak to peers about what they originally thought about our film before we distributed this onto YouTube and different mediums. Um,
That was really helpful because it helped us to be confident in what we were putting out. So instead of just going straight, like completing our film and just straight away putting it on YouTube and straight away like distributing it, it was really good to get feedback. It was almost like previews.
yeah,
Having people who could kind of tell us what went well and what we could do better.
yeah, and simple things that we were, not worrying about, but the things that you think when you're making your own film. For example, does it make sense?
Yeah.
Them obvious questions, and you know, our our peers' original thoughts of the short film, and it put a lot of confidence into us.
Yeah, and I'd say there's always that worry if, like, you know, some people say it's good to have a fresh set of eyes on things.
Yeah.
And when you've been working on a film for months and months, you kind of become a bit oblivious to some of the mistakes you might have made,
Yeah.
or little things like little editing issues, and there are people that haven't seen the film before who pick up on that. So
Yeah.
it is
Especially
really good.
with sound, because we were on our beach and we were limited to microphones and sound resources.
We just had the
We
camera's microphone.
spent a lot of time editing and blending and making sure, you know, continuity between each individual shot of waves.
Yeah, that the sound
We
was
spent
continuous.
so long looking into that it was nice to, you know, get a fresh set of ears on it, even to make sure that we weren't going crazy.
Yeah. We were also able to use connections that we had with film institutions such as the BFI, and professionals and other kind of students from that network, who had the eyes and ears for film, to give us feedback. So they were able to give us like really specific feedback that we could really take on board and use, particularly with like how long we held shots for our edits, the choices of our shots, and how we chose our music. So it was really helpful to have that backbone as well.
Yeah.